G'day YouTube and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. So yeah, we've got this car here and we're going to do the masking stage on it. I've actually already done all the edge masking, so we're ready to get some plastic over it now. I just flicked the booth on because it kind of helps suck the plastic down. So 1, 2, 3 and a bit arm lengths. Usually does a normal size car. What's that? That's the grades. Yeah, decent sized job this one. I mean, very straightforward. It's like there's kind of not even any repairs on it. Like I did a couple actually, like little ones that I found, but yeah, like that door there, that's actually a little freebie that we're doing, because you're better off just painting the whole side, you know. But yeah, it was a relatively light hit up the back, I guess, and I mean enough to put a new back panel on it, but not hard enough to replace the tailgate. So there's a original tailgate out there that I'm painting, a new bumper. I'll do all of that last, but I did decide to do that at the same time as the side, just so the color matches up, just in case, you know. That way I'll put like wet on wet down over this guard and then put some over the front edge of the door, make sure it's exactly the same batch and paint it at the same time and everything. It's just one of those colors which may not cover the best, but it should be pretty good. So yeah, even the roof, like there's nothing on it really. Like there's 1 or 2 chips which I didn't even want to fix, so I didn't. I'm going to just do a touch up on them. Yeah, there's 2. There's one kind of in the middle. I don't want to put color up here, I just want to clear it. And there was one like up on the front edge, so I'll just do a nice neat little touch up with the base coat and then clear over it. I fixed heaps of stone chips on the bonnet of this, all freebies of course, but yeah, I think sometimes what they do here is, it's a thing that's kind of unique to Melbourne, I think. I don't think they do recovery work in Perth, so it's kind of where, I think it's like something to do with the like a loophole or the legalities of it's a specific Victorian law which allows it. But so my fellow Victorians will probably know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about third-party property claims. So I think, and it would make sense that this would be one because it was hit up the back. So if here in Victoria, if it's not your fault, then you have more rights or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit complicated and I don't fully understand it, but the best I know, it's like you're basically suing the other person's insurance company. So it's like it's a legal thing, and that's just why we can kind of go to town and we can do things that you wouldn't usually get okayed for because of the nature of it. Because yeah, I don't know, as I say, like I don't fully understand it, but that's why you might look at a job like this and say, why are you painting the roof and the quarter panels and all this extra stuff for the sake of, you know, like, well, there is actually 2 claims. For starters, there's 2 claims. There is actually 2 jobs on this. But the other side of it is, I think it's the nature of a third-party property claim, or recovery, I think they call it, something like that. I like to pull this together so it doesn't flap around. A little bit tired today. Up all night working on the Tirana again last night. Nah, I mean, I think I finished early last night, 9 o'clock. I got my new quarter panels come in. Oop. I got 2 new quarter panel, well, not new. They're secondhand, 2 quarter panel cuts, so it's got the metal that I needed to finish off my car. So I think I'm finally at the point where I've got the last of what I need to finish up, the last of the metal that I'm going to need to finish off my Tirana. I found a battery tray because that was rusted out, so. But once I do, I've told my mum she wants her car resprayed, so once I get the back panel back on and the fuel tank back in, the Tirana's actually going to get parked outside for a couple of weeks, and then I'll get my mum's car down and give that a respray. She's got like a Honda Jazz, and the paint's all faded pretty badly. I mean, there's 1 or 2 panels that you could kind of save, but there's, you know, it's the same thing. Like, there's no use in painting everything around that 1 panel. That's why we just painted it. And that goes to show, when I was prepping this up, I was thinking about it. And I was like, it goes to show that we care more about your car than your insurance company does. Like, we're taking that as a loss, right? You know, we're not charging the owner for it. We're not charging the insurance company for it. Well, to the best of my knowledge, because it's not on the job sheet anyway. That's all I can say. I don't really get too involved in the business side of things. I don't get too involved in anything, to be honest. I just come in and do my job, paint a couple of cars each day, go home, and then work on my Tirana, which is great. So, yeah, where was I? I was talking about something. I got sidetracked. Yeah, working on my mum's car. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to, yeah, give her Honda Jazz a respray for her. I'm not going to charge her. I told her, I said, look, I'll charge you for, you know, the paint, but my time, you know, I'm not going to charge her for it. And it's going to be a quick one, you know, because, like, she kind of wouldn't really know, as long as it's shiny, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to mask everything up, man. Like, yeah, mask belt molds, everything. I don't want to take the door handles out. Like, I don't want to, I've already got 1 car in bits in my life. I don't need 2 cars, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'll do my best to get it nice and shiny, and it'll last, I would imagine it should last the rest of the car's life anyway. But yeah, what is it, like 2014 Honda Jazz, and it's only got 40,000 Ks on it, but unfortunately, she parks it like under trees and that sometimes, and then doesn't clean it off, so the bird poo sort of eats into the paint and stuff like that. So I'll be giving it back to her with some guidance of giving it a wash every now and then. And maybe even get her like one of those spray sealants or something to sort of help protect the paint, you know. But yeah, I was when I started work, I'm going to talk about my Tirana a bit. When I started working on my Tirana, originally I was like, oh, you know, like if this starts rusting up again in 1 year, I'll probably sell it. But if it's 5 years or so, or, you know, more than a year or 2, then I'll probably just patch it up and, you know, repair it as I go. But now I'm at the point like, man, this car, by the time I'm done with it, like the metal itself is gonna be a bit rough, but I'll pick it up with bog, so I don't care about that. But it's basic, it's gonna last longer than probably this car here, you know. That's how confident I am with my work. I'm doing it very well. I'm not doing it to the absolute best of the best with the metal work, but I'm taking all the paint off, I'm treating all of the rust, cutting all the worst of the rust out, putting new metal in, and yeah, I'm having fun too. All using good epoxy primers. Well, I use some U-Pol epoxy primer, and I didn't really like it. I mean, I think it does a good job for what it is, but it's just way too thick, and I just couldn't get it to spray nicely. So by the time you get a wet coat, and it dries so slow, by the time you get a wet coat on, you've overloaded the paint and it just runs on you, like both sides. Well, much worse on the first side, and even by the time I came around to do the second side, knowing how bad it was, you know, so I sort of adjusted the way I sprayed a bit, knowing that it was going to run. I still got a fair few runs in it, so yeah. Just way too thick, and I don't know, maybe they have a thinner that can go with it, but I didn't have any, and I didn't know any that would be like compatible with it. Like we don't use epoxy that much. Well, we never use it here at work, so I don't even know if like a polyurethane thinner is compatible with an epoxy. So I wasn't just going to go and put thinners in there which screwed up my, you know, adhesion, or I don't know what it would do if you got it wrong. So yeah, still having fun on the Torrey. Can't wait to have it done, but on the other hand, I'm kind of enjoying the work, so I'm not rushing it, if you know what I mean. Like I'm not mucking around. I'm getting it done, but yeah, making sure I still enjoy the build, I guess, you know. I was talking about this Stando Blue to one of my mates the other day, and we're basically just saying how it's idiot proof as far as the colors go. Like I'm saying to him, I'm like, man, I can't even remember the last time I had to do any color matching. You know, I'm not even joking. I've gone from every day spending, you know, an annoying amount of time. I can't say exactly how much, but you know, it would vary. Like it's basically, well, it's more than inverted. I was going to say it's inverted. Like it used to be 1 or 2 out of every 10 was okay without mucking with it, but now it's 1 or 2 out of every 100 is not good. So yeah. This one here, same thing. You know what these Audis are like, probably. They don't put paint codes on them, or maybe they do underneath the spare wheel well. I don't even bother looking for them anymore, being an Audi. So the way I find the paint code usually on an Audi or something, I'll get the Spectro and then search for Audi with the Spectro, like a blind search, only using the search term Audi. That will generally find me the color code. I'll then take that color code, type it back go back to the main screen, type it back into the computer and see if there is a color chip. It will tell you when you type a color code in, you'll be able to find whether or not there's a color chip, just so you're not flicking through all the chips. It'll tell you where it is, which swatch it's in, and if there is a color chip. So if there is a color chip, I'll check it. If it's good, just mix it and paint it. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So yeah, it's like really easy. It's kind of, as I say, it's like so idiot proof. So I haven't even mixed the color up yet. I don't have to. And the colors going edge to edge on the front bumper, it's totally fine. It's probably better than what the original factory color would look like. That's how good it is, right? And then everywhere else it's getting blended, so yeah, it's just such a pleasure to be able to just makes your life so easy. You're not mucking around doing stupid shit like color matching, you know. Oh, it's not that I can't do it, but it's just so time consuming. Leaves me more time to be in here painting the cars. And then when you actually get in there to paint the cars, the cleanliness and the finish that you can get out of this Stando Blue is just, it's great. It's just the best. I guess leaving Stando Blue and then coming back to it, it's actually made me appreciate it more than I did, I guess. Previously I was like, You know, how bad can these other paint systems be? Because, you know, like Stando Blue and then Chromax Pro were the only water systems I'd used. I thought, how bad can the other ones be? I thought they'd be kind of similar, but now I know they're nothing. Like, I'm at the point now, as I said in previous videos, I know it's a big call and things can change in your life, but I have no interest at all in spraying anything but this system. Yeah, Stando Blue, Chromax Pro, or Speeds High-Tech. Any other systems, I would actively avoid working in a shop with anything but. And it's a different thing doing one or two jobs, right? Like if the boss came in and said, oh, there's a respray here, I just want you to use whatever, a 3-coat system, whatever, yeah man, I'll use it. But on the daily, like when you're using it every day, day in, day out, when you're expected to do the color matching, when you're expected to get a nice clean finish, you know, I want to use the best, and I think this is the best. So yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, like doing my mum's car, I'm probably going to be, I don't even know what I'll use, but I'll just get some cheap paint. I don't know, like I'll ask her what she wants. I said, what do you want? Medium, high, or low cost paint? And I'll just say, you get what you pay for. And she might say, give me the top quality stuff, and I'll say, cool, you'll pay for it then. She might say, just give me the cheap stuff, you know. I'll say, cool. If it was my car, I'd probably just say, look, get some of the cheap stuff in, you know, it's just the kind of car that it is. And like she doesn't, there's a couple of little rust bubbles coming up, and that's why she's kind of like, I might get you to do it now before it gets too bad, you know. So, oh well, at least I got a bit of experience with rust after working on my Tirana. Yeah, so look, if it was my car, I'd probably just say get, what is it, Concept. I'd just say get Concept no mix solvent in, ultra cheap. I'm going to be getting in some quartz, so that's Spray Guns Direct own brand of paint. So they're actually sending out some clear coats and primers. They're sponsoring the Tirana build basically, and I said, hey look, while you're sending it out, like send me out a couple of kits of clear, may as well. So I might end up just using that clear on it, which is a good top quality clear coat. The quartz liquid glass. I think I've done a couple of reviews on that here on the channel, so yeah, I'll probably use that on my mum's car. I already asked my boss. I said, oh, can I bring my mum's car in just one night and give it a paint job? He's like, yeah, that's fine, no dramas. I think he owns a couple of tow trucks, and I think he's got towing licenses too, so my boss that is. So he actually stays here until like midnight sometimes, so he probably won't mind if I'll get it all prepped up at home, and then one night drive my mum's car in, have it all edge masked, I guess, like on the insides, and then bang, 430 hits, I'll just rip it in the booth and give her a quick squirt, and then probably drive it home that night even. Why not? It's all good. Yeah, I'm so glad to be just finally in a shop that I'm just happy. There's no drama. There's no people that hate you that you have to work with on the day, you know, on the daily, and just, I think I find you get a better like work-life balance when you're an employee, right? And look, being that you, without coming off too arrogant or up yourself or whatever, like when you're good at what you do, you can demand like a good dollar, you know what I mean? So I don't feel as if I'm missing out on money that, like if I was, you know, owned my own business, that I'd be making heaps more money anyway. Like I spoke to one of my friends who does own his own business over there in South Australia, and asked him what he makes a year, and I said, man, I'm kind of in that same bracket. Like, I'm not far behind you, but I don't have to work Saturdays. Like, he goes around, does his quoting on Saturdays, and you know, he obviously does longer days, like longer hours, and you know, all the stress and all that it entails also. So yeah, I mean, I always get a lot of people asking, oh man, you should own your own shop, blah blah, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to. At this point, I'm kind of happy doing what I'm doing. I'm not ruling it out forever. If the right opportunity comes up, well then we'll look at it at the time. But there has been a few opportunities come up, and I was so close. I had a $20,000 deposit down on a shop in Bayswater, and I pulled out at the last minute, and I'm glad I did. I got my deposit back, luckily, and I'm so glad that I didn't go through with that one. Even one other thing, like, if you really want to make any decent money in this trade, like, you need employees, and it is nearly impossible to find any. Like, even a bad tradesman commands good money these days. It's that bad here in Australia, and specifically in Melbourne. Like, I think a lot of people left this trade in Melbourne, like, left Melbourne, and yeah, like, more people are leaving the trade than entering it, as far as I know. Like, we're relying on immigrants, as far as I know. Like, we're not training our young, so the next generation aren't going to be there. It's just all immigrants, and hey, nothing against immigrants, man. I'm totally nothing against them. It's just how it is. If we're not going to do it, someone's got to. So, but yeah, there's some nasty people in this trade here in Melbourne, man. Real nasty people. So yeah, I can kind of hardly blame anyone for not wanting to be in this trade, but like the work itself I love. It's just the people, for a long time, the people has been the hardest part of work for me, you know. A video, because I've been trying to keep these videos to that 25-minute mark, which makes it so I don't have to put the video into the video editor. So yeah, rightio guys, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. I'll be doing a base coat. I'll probably do two vids, a base coat vid and a clear coat video on this car in the coming days. So anyway, hope you did enjoy. If you want to support the show, be sure to check out the link in the description. You can go and buy some Gunman merch. Until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.